Lunchbox is brought to you by J&C Oyster in Hollywood.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Bifo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the creme cram sauce with the awesome bake with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and welcome. Well, I can't even talk. That's it. Welcome again to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We are working overtime today, bringing you the finest in dining around town. And tonight, for the happy hour edition, the special Hump Day happy hour edition, we are at J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. I love this place. It is such great food. And Mike Lubitz, I think you like this place too, even though it's a little bit of a schlep for you from the northwest corners of Broward County in Coral Springs, but worth the drive.
Yeah,
huh?
I don't mind. I mean, the schlep is true, especially at this time of day. Like,
especially doing it twice, and
yes,
I apologize for the timing.
Fine.
Again, I love Mark Freed at Grandpa's. I sent him 3 messages in the last 10 days about
that you made sure to
10:30
show
a.m.
me that.
He's the one that lobbies for the early morning. He loves the early morning lunchbox with the breakfast edition. He doesn't want to be there too late, because they rise early. They're baking bagels at 6 a.m.
And he plays golf too.
He
He's
plays
a busy
golf.
man, so
he wants to, he wants to hit the links. He wants to
Yep.
get the heck out of there. And then all of a sudden today he's like, I thought it was noon, but we got in there at 10:30, and that's fine. It gave us spacing. You got back to walk Wolf, right? So
Yes.
You got a little quality time with the dog. And now here we are a few hours later, and we are downtown Hollywood, happy hour, J&C Oyster. This place has been open now for not quite 5 months. I think it was early April.
Oh, wow, really? That's crazy. It's already.
Yeah, I mean, April, May, June, July, August. So, yeah, it's in its 6th month, and it's really hitting its stride. And it's funny because, Lubie, when we first show up at a place, and it's a new place, and, we get the owner, we get marching bands, we get the mayor, we get ribbon cuttings, there's streamers and balloons, and then, we get to meet the chefs, the star chefs, Raheem, who, of course, you know him from Q and Drinking Pig, and now he's got some other projects going, but, they've got now, this is the nitty gritty. We've got, we come in here and they're just coming off their 2-day weekend. They're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Monday and Tuesday.
So this is it, where they're like coming back, shaking off, the
cobwebs.
There's no cobwebs and rust, but they had 2 days off to kind of unwind, and now there's a lot of prep going on. There's a lot of slicing and dicing. There's a lot of, they have the team staff meeting right before service.
Yep.
And this is where you feel like you're in an episode of The Bear. This is like
they get along very well, and there's not a lot of yelling. But other than that, yes, you get to the behind the scenes view, and maybe we'll bring a little bit of that to you. I don't think it was a schlep in the sense that I'm used to driving in the morning for some of our shows, or late morning. So even when there's traffic, if there's not traffic, I don't drive in the afternoon. So
right.
A drive that's normally 40 minutes turns into a little over an hour. That's
the
the
hellscape out there.
Part.
Yeah.
But the distance isn't a problem. I really like this area. It's like I grew up. We talked about this last time, but this is where, even though my parents really bought the house they still live in the week before I was born officially, I've always been in Sunrise. Hollywood was always a place. My mom grew up in South Beach, but like it was Alta Cocker South Beach at the time.
I didn't realize your mom grew up in South Beach.
Yeah, my great-grand.
Just like Val. She's a South Beach.
She was North Beach, and they were
North
more
Beach.
southern.
Actually, I don't know what you consider like in the 30s. If it's below Arthur Godfrey.
They were close to Collins, so they were like real deal
much.
South Beach. But it wasn't like what it is now. I mean, it was they called it Alta Cocker Central at the time.
Yeah.
But when she would go to the beach, they would go a lot of the time to Hollywood, and we were growing up. We would go to Hollywood Beach. That was our go-to beach when I was a kid. So the Hollywood area holds a near and dear place to my heart, and it's nice to see that they're doing a lot more with it. And it makes me sad that they didn't for a while. Like you look at it and it's like, okay, so what was it before? Like, what has it been? Because in my childhood, it was a booming place. I know for years it was. I know Margaritaville. I know where you walk, the Broadwalk.
Yeah, the Broadwalk
is a
is
big
always
deal.
happening, a little bit touristy, but also a good mix of locals and tourists. And
Yeah.
look, I affectionately know it as Holly Weird.
Yeah.
I've lived in South Florida 35 years. My first apartment was in Hollywood, and I basically lived no place except Hollywood and Dania Beach for these years. And I consider them like twin cities, you know, like
They're very
Minneapolis
similar,
and St. Paul.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood is Holly Weird, and Dania is, I don't even know what you call it. I mean, it used to be a lot of trailer parks, but now
Interesting.
Dania's gotten
Right now.
redeveloped.
There's a lot of great stuff.
Which
on it.
I'm very happy about
Yeah.
because now my community and the home prices have been, going up, up, which is good news for
As you're
moi.
well aware of.
And now, of course, now I'm going to be stepping out and going uptown
Yes.
to Rio Vista.
You're pulling
which
on
is,
me, where you went from a nice area in Dania till ritzy Fort Lauderdale. I grew up in Sunrise, and Shirley Reyes Lubitz pulled me into the Coral Springs bordering Parkland area. So look at you.
I think what we're trying to say, and this would make Phil Marrow and Stacy Ritter very happy, is that the greater Fort Lauderdale
Yes.
area,
Yes.
it's more than just Fort Lauderdale. We've got
We cover it
Coral
all.
Springs to the northwest and Parkland. You've got Hollywood,
Yep.
Dania, Hallandale to the southeast, and there's great dining all around.
Yep.
And this right here at J&C is a most welcome addition to Harrison Street, a block that's had, let's face it, it's had its roller coaster ride, ups and downs. I mean, I've had a lot of favorite places on this block, including a place that called Sushi Blues Cafe that used to be located on Young Circle, and then they relocated, and that was a great place. Junko and Kenny. Kenny was like a world-renowned avant-garde jazz saxophonist.
Okay.
Defo would have loved the dude because he would go play gigs in Japan for a couple of weeks and then come back. But he had this huge, massive following in
He was
Japan.
a chef?
No, he was a saxophonist.
Okay,
he was
I
a
get the
musician.
saxophone part.
He was the owner. He had
he
nothing to
owned the
do
restaurant, but didn't
with
do
the
anything
restaurant except owning
Okay.
it and working in front of the house.
Okay.
His wife Junko also worked in front of the house, but they had several really good sushi chefs. But they also had a lot of good live music, and Kenny would play with some jazz musicians.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's
So
cool.
it was like having the sushi and the blues. He was kind of, what did I say, avant-garde jazz. He was also blues, more of a
Okay.
blues
Yeah,
saxophonist. That's why they called it Sushi Blues.
Yeah.
But that place was great. I mean, and when my daughter was first born, I would bring my parents with her there.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of fond memories there. Then that went out, and then there's been some other things coming and going, and this block is now poised for redevelopment and a rebirth because there's all kinds of new restaurants that are going to be opening, and of course this is one of them. Was at the Vanguard, and it's right next to Oaxaca.
Yes.
Oaxaca.
Okay, so the word that's spelled that way is actually pronounced in real life Oaxaca. Oaxaca. But
Right.
theirs is not from the city Oaxaca.
Right.
They combined
Osaka,
two
Japan.
words. Yes.
Because it's a fusion
Yes.
of both Mexican and Japanese.
Yes.
That's next door. They do things
So
like
they
the
pronounce it as Osaka.
sushi
You are right to
burritos.
pronounce it Osaka.
Osaka.
Yes.
But this now Cesar.
He's here, by the way.
Cifuentes. Is he? Has he made it? Oh,
He's
great.
hanging
just
out. He's leaving us in
kinda
a
around.
lurch.
We could have him come on over. Meanwhile, I'm going to introduce the beautiful food, and we
Yes.
got the beverages.
Oh, this thing is fantastic.
And what I love about this place, besides great deals during the happy hour, which is every day that it's open, Wednesday
love
through
that.
Sunday, including the weekends, Friday, Saturday, you come sit at the bar from 5 to 7. You're going to get some fantastic deals.
Yep.
And now the kitchen is knocking it out. They open at 5. They're going to get a nice crowd here for
Ooh, look at
happy hour.
this.
Look at that. We've got in front of us.
Okay, so you have to explain it.
We're
Do you
gonna.
know what these dishes are?
I'll BS my
So
way
I'm not
through
gonna
it
lie to
because
you. These are really cool looking dishes that I've never seen.
and these again we've
So I
been
don't
here
even
a
know
few
how to
times.
describe them.
And the menu is so varied, and talk about a deep bench, because we've gone through a lot of the menu, but I picked out some things that we haven't had yet. And I'm going to go from the audience's left. Is that left to right?
Yes.
Over here we have the kind of the crusted pork belly. It looks like it's
nice.
almost kind of like in a dry rub salt crust. Look at that. It's really
So
crispy
I'm gonna do.
and beautiful. Yeah, go in on that. And this is the happy hour version because they have a bigger version, but I think on the happy hour, I don't know the exact prices, but it's somewhere in the $10 neighborhood. Oh, look at that. And we got
Oh,
the
wow.
fourth
No,
and
no.
final dish. Yeah, just throw it on there. We'll get that. Oh, look at that. That's the crab avocado salad. All right, so Lubie's got the B-roll camera
Yes.
rolling. I don't see it up
It's
on
right
our
here,
big
and I'm
screen.
pulling it
Gonna
now. It's
ping
having
it
some
here.
camera issues. So here you go. All right,
You know,
so
we got now the
now I'll let you describe the
Zoom
dishes.
can. Here we go. We've got four
Oh, just do this
dishes.
way. That would help.
There we go. That's always better. Going
Yes.
horizontal.
You see the whole. Okay, so you're gonna
The
describe them as I
newspaper
point
business,
them
we
out.
always said, always go horizontal. You get the better thing.
Okay.
This is the roast, the pork belly. It's crispy pork belly with looks like some sort of nice, beautiful. I'm not quite sure of what the dipping sauce is,
Okay.
but some pickled vegetables. I'll get my hands out of the way. I'm gonna squeeze a little
Fine.
lime on it. I'm gonna go in for the first bite on this.
Go
I
for
bet
it.
it's very hot, but it looks like kind of a
Hot spicy,
some
you think,
sort
or
of
hot flavor?
shiso hot and spicy sauce.
There you go. All the angles of mayo.
Oh my god, that's tender.
You're supposed to describe all the dishes, not just start eating.
Okay, imagine a cube of
Yeah, that's fine.
rich.
No,
I don't
it
want to
just
use the
looks
word
fantastic.
fatty, but pork belly is a little
Well, but
fatty.
yeah, but the fat is an important
It
part
melts
of
in
it.
your
It's the
mouth.
flavor. Yeah.
A crispy gelatinous cube of fatty.
And it looks
deliciousness.
amazing because pork belly is great, but it also has
I-
like a crust, like you were saying. Like
I'm gonna make you take a bite of that in a
I will.
second.
I want to
Just
show
number 2.
show everyone what we got going because Cesar I think is going to join us. So
And we got Chef Dominique. She's gonna describe it much better than I could.
Okay.
Come on, sit in.
No, you're good. You're good.
Welcome. Hold on a second.
We're just getting ready to talk about some of these
Get you
divine
loaded
dishes
up.
you
Get
have
your
in front of us.
headphones on. Yep. And then we're just gonna drop your microphone down.
Perfect.
Put it right in there. Don't be afraid to
Beautiful.
speak up.
All
And
right.
we're gonna say, "Welcome, Chef Dominique," or Chef Dom, as she's known.
Yes, Chef Dom is good. Yes.
Hey,
To the
Chef.
lunchbox.
Welcome,
You are a
welcome.
first timer.
Yes, this is my first time on the show.
And don't be
Nice.
nervous because, I do bite. I don't bark.
The food.
Um,
He bites
That's
the
cool.
food.
That's cool. That's what we want you to do.
And
So he was just describing these dishes, and I think he totally bastardized them. So we're gonna have you do it because I love your food, and I don't want to undermine anything that
No problem.
you all do
No problem.
here at J&C. So this is a form of pork belly, but how would you describe
The
this
pork
first dish to our right, their left?
Okay, so our pork belly dish consists of a crispy pork belly, which we braise first to make sure you cook it all the way and break down the pork so that it's tender when you bite it. And we deep fry it in a potato starch mix
oh
with
wow,
also a sashimi pepper
they
mix.
call that karaji or something like that, or
Oh my gosh! Of course, I get on here.
You're like,
and
that's
quiz
all
it.
right.
have
That's
to
all
go
right.
to
Listen,
this. Yes.
I don't need to. It's not a quiz. Potato starch
But
is
yeah,
good. It comes out crispy and beautiful.
The potato starch, we use that instead of like a regular flour mixture
Interesting.
because it comes out crispier.
Right.
So you get that nice crispy coating on top of the pork belly. Also, you have the crispy pork skin, so it's
Right.
like a double crunch, so it's a really good
So it's
taste.
supposed to be
not-
like a wrap, like a lettuce wrap?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, because
so,
Mayo did not eat it that way.
Well,
but I think it's supposed
Silly
to be
me,
that way.
I somehow skipped the greens, the healthy
yeah,
part.
like when you go to assemble the dish at your table when you're dining with your family, your friends, whomever, you do it as a pork belly wrap. So we
Yeah,
have our
great.
pickles there.
I'm
we
gonna
have
do
our
it the correct way
green
now.
chili vinaigrette.
Yeah, well, so it's a green chili vinaigrette. That's
Yes.
the part I didn't
That's
know
nice.
was
It's
what
so,
the sauce was.
so
But I'm gonna
yummy. It's the
fit it
perfect
on
addition
this.
to the
I'm gonna
dish.
put this in the wrap. I'm gonna get myself a little pickle.
There
And you
you
gotta
go.
hit it with a little lime juice.
Yeah,
as
a
little
little bit
well.
of
lime juice.
lime.
Is this? That's not to eat, is it? Or
Yes, it's a tomatillo.
tomatillo.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I didn't even recognize that.
Yeah,
And then,
so the chefs, Chef Raheem and Chef Monica, with Chef Monica's Cuban background, there are
Yeah.
little instances of that in all the dishes. So it gives a little bit of personality to every dish that you have.
It's really nice. I like that. Literally everything on the plate, you guys have an
Yes.
explanation for it.
Mhm.
And
Everything
there's
is there
an
for a
important
reason.
part for it.
Mhm.
I
Yes,
love that.
Yes.
the acidity cuts the fat.
Mhm. Mhm. Hey,
You can't take me
you're having a
anywhere.
good time. You're having a good
Dom,
time. That's
I
all
am-
that matters.
He definitely enjoyed the food.
Yes,
That's
yes.
for
Okay,
sure.
we've been doing this like 3 years.
I'm still not used to it at all.
I still haven't learned that when you talk with your mouth full, things
Yeah,
can
you know,
shoot
food,
out.
out,
food
yeah.
usually comes out. Yeah, mhm. That's how that court goes.
I'm going to chew a little bit longer, but I'm just going to say it literally is melting in your mouth.
Yes,
It's
yes.
so good.
That is definitely the idea. When you're cooking any pork belly dish and you're cooking it like twice the way we do, you have to make sure you braise it long enough so that way everything breaks down properly and you get that tender, juicy pork and you don't have to chew it too long. You know?
And by using the potato starch, and like you said, you get it extra crispy, and there's also like no external greasiness. There's no
none at all. It doesn't absorb the grease the way a usual batter does.
right. So you got all that juiciness,
It's like held
which
in.
comes from the fatty pork belly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's on the interior.
Hmm. And it preserves all the flavor as well. You don't lose any of the moisture sometimes when you're frying pork belly or pork in general. you usually want to keep that in there. That way you have like a good mouthfeel, good experience when you're eating
So
it.
this is the first time I've had this dish, and I've been coming here. I can't tell you how many times since
I'm
you
so
opened.
surprised. It's
Because
a fan favorite
well,
for
because
sure.
I go crazy on the oysters and all the
Yes.
seafood
Yes,
dishes,
we are
which
an
are
oyster bar
so
first.
pristine, and I go crazy for the fried chicken. And it's
Yeah.
like usually I try to balance it out where I'm gonna have like kind of one fried heavier
Mhm.
dish, and it's usually the fried chicken. But
Mhm.
I gotta tell you, the pork belly is a contender.
It is. I mean, some days we come in and between happy hour, like those 2 hours, we'll sling out at least like 20, maybe even 30 of these
Of the whole
for
pork
happy hour. Yeah,
I
yeah.
could tell why they're a
Mhm.
people pleaser. Both of them, the chicken and the
Definitely a
pork belly.
favorite. Yes.
All right, let's take us down. Now we're
Dish
going into
number
the
2.
Okay.
healthy part, the
Oh yes, yeah,
salads.
somewhat, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have our avocado and crab salad, which is like pretty much a play on if you do avocado toast with a little bit of crab on top,
Right.
and you have your herbs. So with this one, we do like a whole avocado, about 2.5 ounces of crab meat.
Lump crab, yeah.
Yeah, lump crab meat, and then we do an herb salad on top. It consists of like basil,
Wow.
mint.
And I'm going to try to somehow balance this on
Yes.
my fork, and then I'm going
Love
to
it. And
put
then
the
we
whole
do a
thing in my
little bit
mouth.
of our house-made feta cheese in there. So a lot of times we notice the guests will come in, they'll be like, oh, if they see feta, they're like, oh, I don't want the feta, but it's ours. So we control the salt content of it, so
Okay.
it's not too intense. It's the perfect addition to kind of balance
I got to
out
tell you something.
the fat.
It works perfectly. And when you said cheese and crab, like one of those combos that usually makes me arch a skeptical eyebrow
Mhm.
because um, I think crab is such a great, beautiful protein on
Yes.
its own that it
Mhm.
doesn't need sometimes
When
to
you
be
combine it with other things.
Mhm.
muddled
Mhm.
with cheese. But that works perfectly.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
like you said, it picks up, it gives it just that little bit of kind of
Yeah,
briny
the
saltiness.
feta's not too heavy, so it cuts through like that kind of sometimes bland flavor
Yeah.
of avocado,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it gives
picks
it
it
more
right up.
life. Yeah, it does. We have our lemon ginger dressing on there as well to give it like a
Beautiful.
little zing when you
It's
take each
beautiful.
bite
You
of
got
it.
your microgreens. Where does
Yes.
that come from? Is that like a local farm? Or something?
Yes, it's a little further down south because they've worked with
Homestead, the
Raheem
Redlands.
and Monica. It's Superior Farms,
Oh,
if I'm
yeah,
not
I've heard of
mistaken.
them, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So
And
they
they do
bring us
deliver
our fresh herbs every week,
some
and
superior produce.
very, very high
and
quality. Yes,
herbs.
we enjoy it.
Good stuff.
And then lastly, on the top, we have fried shallots. So you
Oh,
get
wow.
a crunch
Oh, wow.
with each bite in it, and it has like a little bit of flavor to it.
It's a good thing Defo, our usual co-host, isn't here because he knows how I go crazy for the crunch.
She
yes.
loves a crunch.
And it's
That's the
again,
best part. Yeah,
as
yeah.
a food critic, the crunch is essential to any dish
Mhm.
because when you have a lot of things that are soft and
Exactly.
pillowy, you just need something to
You
kind of
need those
liven up.
different textures to keep you interested with each bite.
Yeah.
All the way down to the last one. You have a really good time.
Me
when
and you
eat
were
the
on the same
salad.
page.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
We're good.
It's a favorite of mine. I don't eat it all the time just because I know me. When I have like a favorite dish,
You'll
I'll
pound,
like go
you'll eat
crazy
right, right.
over
That
it.
is-
So keep it
Look,
fresh.
it's still a little steamy outside. This is a perfect summertime dish, and
Absolutely.
the calendar technically still is summer
Oh,
for
it's
like
been
another week.
Here it'll
until
be
the
summer
22nd.
for another 2
Yeah.
months. But,
Yes, that's absolutely true.
but the humidity may go
So,
away, but it'll still work
This,
some of these
this
dishes.
is a perfect dish for
yes.
those light bites. You kind of have it with
Last
this
days of summer,
Yeah,
the sun's
I
going
got-
down
I got my-
outside.
my
and I got the
happy
really
hour
cool
G&T,
banana
which you get for reasonable rates, and this is
Perfect.
from the regular menu. I think they call it the banana.
banana
Yes,
rama.
that's a favorite of mine
Rama,
as well.
banana
This is
rama.
fantastic.
That
Lubie loves
plantation rum in there is
Oh,
really
yeah.
good.
Ooh. Okay, so this is the one I really wanted to know about
Yes.
because it's a very pretty dish that I don't know what the heck it is. So I'm
So-
actually intrigued by your explanation.
This is our confit tuna.
Is
so,
this new?
No, it's been on the menu since day one. It's gone through a couple,
Metamorphosis.
remodels.
Right.
Yeah,
'cause I
yeah.
think, wasn't it more like a chopped up?
Yeah,
or
well,
like a,
we still did the slices, but the escabeche peppers on top were
Okay.
more in the long form. We were slicing them instead
Ah.
of dicing them, and then we kind of all came to the conclusion that it was a little busy.
Mhm.
So we went to dicing them and laying them on top. So it's a more uniform, look, and it goes well with like each bite when you do it with the wonton chips.
Yeah, I love the wonton chips.
Mhm.
But meanwhile, this looks so
It's a
pretty.
beautiful
Yeah.
dish.
And
yeah.
what's surrounding it? It's like a pool of shimmering.
Yeah, so we take the
green-
confit oil that we cook the tuna in, and we just put it on the bottom of the plate. It's been it's cooked with lemongrass and bay leaf, so
Oh,
it has a
wow.
lot of flavor as well, and it complements the tuna. So
So-
everything on there has flavor to it. every bite. And
Now,
you,
is there an external sear on this, or is it just
no,
plain
sir.
old straight,
It's just
straight up?
we let it sit with salt and pepper first,
Okay.
and the cooking process. The way with our limited kitchen back there, we figured out a way to give it the color from the confit without having to like cook it or do like a hard sear.
Well, I'm going to let Lubie do the
Mhm.
honors here, if you don't mind my grubby little fingers on the edge. Oh, wait, he's
I'm just all
texting
over
or
the
something.
place.
I'm going to let you take the first bite of that. It looks
Okay. This
fantastic.
looks amazing.
Yeah, it's
And-
really good. The escabeche peppers on top are like pickled peppers.
Okay.
With also we do like a champagne vinegar, and then we do oil as well. So it keeps for a while, and the longer you let it sit in that
the
mixture,
more it soaks in
yes,
everything.
you get all that
Now,
flavor.
I see you got a little like scallions on
Yes,
top
sir.
here.
Yes, sir. We always got to have some green in the dish.
Yeah,
always.
always
Get a little
makes it
pop
look
of color
pretty.
on top. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And these peppers, I mean, you don't have Scotch bonnets in here.
No, nothing to. It's just sweet peppers.
Okay, because
Mhm.
some people can't take that kind of heat.
Yeah,
I love
no,
it.
I do enjoy Scotch bonnets, but it has to be the right dish. You can't put it in everything. That's for sure.
That's almost like
That's really nice. I'm
like
not gonna
almost
lie.
like a tuna foie gras. It's like a very rich bite.
Yes, yes,
Well,
absolutely.
I'm not the biggest pepper fan. I'm not the biggest raw onion fan. So when I
Mhm.
look at stuff like that, I let my brain ruin me.
Mhm.
But he handed it to me, and you're sitting here, so I ate it, and I'm glad you both were here because
Give
I
it
ate a really good
try.
bite
Yeah,
that I normally probably would have walked away
exactly.
from. I really
used
liked
to-
how everything was handled.
Yeah,
It was
before I
really good.
started cooking, I was definitely a picky eater, but I'm going on 8 to 9 years in the industry now, so it's like my palate has expanded beyond my like wildest dreams. So anything you put in front of me, I'm willing to give it a try, and it usually works
Well,
out. For the
before we
best.
Same
go
here.
to the soft shell crab roll, and I would say that the wonton chip is
It's
almost
really nice.
essential with
I
this
like the
dish
wonton
because
chip
it gives
with
it the crunch.
Mhm.
The
Again,
crunch is perfect.
it would be a beautiful dish by just having the tuna
No,
content.
but
Yes,
the wonton
yes.
chips are nice.
But that wonton chip, the crunch is
they're
great.
they're thin and crispy, not too thick. So
They're not too
it-
oily or anything like that. It's just a
Exactly.
nice.
So before we get to
Combination.
the soft shell
Mhm.
crab, which absolutely
So is that what that
beautiful.
is?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
a
sir.
soft
That
shell
looks
crab
ridiculous.
roll. Well, you know what? We might as well get into it, and then we'll get into your background and
Yes.
past and your
Mhm.
experience, because I'm always intrigued about how people, how they get to a
Get
point
into the
where they can
biz.
Yeah,
create
how they end
such
up here, yeah.
beautiful. I call it art. It's food
Definitely
is
those
art.
culinary arts. Yes.
And obviously Raheem, Monica, talented, but you guys are on the line, putting it out every day.
Mhm.
Chef Dossie, you, and to be able to just produce this kind of quality, it warms my heart because this is the kind of thing which I've long said Broward needs more of,
Yes.
Hollywood needs more of, and people out there. I hate to beat you over the head,
Well, don't- yeah,
but this is fantastic stuff.
it's
Come
really good food.
out here,
Yeah, it's
try
really
it.
good food.
If you don't like it, email me, MikeMayoEats@gmail.com. You can petition for a full refund, or I will just you're not going to
You're
get
not
a full
gonna need a
refund
refund.
because you're not going to need it.
You
I'm
will
going to
enjoy
almost
every
guarantee
bite.
that you're going to
Everything.
enjoy this meal
Everything.
You'll enjoy
because
it.
it's really good. If you appreciate good food,
That's what we
this
do.
J&C is what you do. All right, I'm going to go in. So describe the soft shell crab
All right.
roll a
So,
little bit.
I think just to make this point before, a lot of people come in and they see the roll on the menu and they think it's like a hand sushi roll type
Yeah,
situation.
like crab meat, raw
yeah,
crab meat or
and
whatever.
then you get here and you see like what Chef Raheem and Chef Monica have put together for
Yeah,
all of
gorgeous.
us.
That's a beautiful
We
thing.
have it's the same coating as the pork belly, number one. So we have the katacorico. There we go. I remembered it now.
Okay.
The potato starch with our sashimi pepper mix, and we coat it and we deep fry it for I want to say about 2 to 3 minutes just to get that crunch and make sure everything is cooked and hot on the inside. And then we also have for our sauce we do a fermented green pepper mayo, the
wow.
yuzu kosho.
Oh my God! I just took a bite of the
Yes.
mayo straight up.
So it gives it like a little
That
bit
pops.
of spice,
Yep.
and it takes our QP mayo from just a regular mayo to the next level. It's one of
And-
my favorite condiments we have in the kitchen. I put it on everything.
Right, and for people who don't know, the Kewpie mayo is a Japanese mayonnaise.
Yes.
It's kind of
Japanese mayonnaise with they instead of using the whole egg, they'll do egg yolk, so it gives it a richer flavor. It gives it like
richer.
a deep yellow color, and it's a little sweet as well. So it's the
best.
perfect accompaniment.
But then when you combine it with that little spice,
Oh, yes.
it's great. And then you got little slivers of jalapenos on here, or is that
serrano pepper?
serrano peppers?
Yes.
Not as hot as the
Not
jalapenos.
as hot. It has a little bit of a sweetness to it.
Just as
Slight
pretty.
spice, but
And for
not too
people
intense.
who don't know, soft shell crab is basically a crab that is just molted. It's hard shell, and it's basically its exoskeleton is still soft
Yes.
and edible. You can
Yes.
chew it.
Eat the whole thing.
Yeah, and I consider it a delicacy. People from New Orleans love it. You have
Oh,
soft-shelled
yes.
crab po' boys,
I've had
and this
one.
is kind of
Delicious.
the J&C version of a soft-shelled crab po' boy. It's on a split-top hot dog bun or whatever. Do you
Yeah,
use
it's
this?
Milk bread rolls we get from Uri's Bakery
Oh,
in
it's the
Wynwood.
Uri Bakery.
And it's
That's the milk bread
so
is world famous that you have
good.
on your beef steak tartare dish too.
Yes,
Yeah.
same
All right.
company.
You're gonna have to excuse me for a second, Chef Dom, because
Go ahead.
this
dig
could
in.
get ugly. I do my.
Oh, you're trying to do a big bite in front of her?
I might do
Oh,
a big
geez, don't
bite.
do that.
It's where I unhinge my jaws like some sort of
One's been
snake.
asking you to.
Understood,
We're
understood.
But this begs for a big bite. I am going to taste everything, but we'll see what happens here with. And this is on the happy hour menu, or
No, it's not on the happy hour menu. That is our lobster roll.
Oh,
but
okay. The
lobster
this
roll is on the happy
just
hour
as
menu.
Yeah,
good.
for like $19,
Yes.
I believe. And then
It's 24.
24.
Mhm,
Okay, yeah.
mhm.
Lobster is expensive. Soft shell crab roll is on the regular menu. A beautiful item. Here we go.
Let's do it.
And Mayo's doing the big bite that no one asked him to do. She turned away. Exact. Thank you. That's how you're supposed to react
Give you a little privacy.
when a
you
grown
know?
man shoves food in his face in public in front of renowned chefs.
That is
That's what you're
funny.
supposed to
That
do.
is funny.
Mm.
But it was a
Wow.
good bite, though. Mm-hmm.
And I finally was able to try that. The pork belly's wonderful, and I do love the vinaigrette. It has a really nice
It does
flavor,
it
and
does.
then the tomato, and I like it in the wrap. It's a nice. It encloses it. It was really good. Like the stuff you guys are doing here is fantastic.
It's a
So
complete
we know
bite.
Chef Raheem, Chef Monica. I don't see either of them here, so I feel like you're heading the line today.
Chef
Yeah,
George,
so-
Darcy and
Yeah,
yourself.
me and
Chef
Chef
Dom,
George,
they're-
we're kind of holding down the fort,
All right.
for them.
Well, you just got your baptism. I know that some nights on the line it gets crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but for you to witness that and not immediately
You
to get up
survived?
and
Hey,
leave.
I am happy to
Or
see it.
stick some
I
sort of
love
cutlery
to see
into
people
me.
enjoy their food. It's the best.
And what was amazing about that, because I was prepared for sometimes the soft shell crab, there's a lot of chewy.
Mhm.
That thing collapsed in my mouth.
Yes.
And the outside crispiness, again, the crunch is great,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really easy to eat, really easy to chew.
Yeah.
And
I
that
agree.
soft milk bread with that, the special mayonnaise, the QP with the yuzu, the spice, it just blends together. I could have put the whole thing down,
Oh, that's
but
nice.
that would have really
You
been.
showed some restraint. I like that. You did.
I try to show a little bit of class in a establishment such as.
Understood.
So I wasn't
yeah.
when I brought up Chef Raheem and Chef Monica not here. It wasn't a dig. What it was is we talked with them and they said, "Look, we came in here and we put a really strong team together,
Yes.
so that we don't feel like we're tied to
Yes.
J&C."
Yes.
And I'm actually impressed by that because we've now been here multiple times with Chef Raheem here, Chef Raheem not here, Monica here, Monica not here, and you can't tell the difference. And
Consistency.
I think that's
we work really
fantastic
hard.
and phenomenal.
Yes, we do. We work hard to make sure every night whether it's you two or when our guests come in, that they get the same quality from day one. We're almost 6 months in now, and you can come in here, and it's like the very first time.
We've been here for I think 4 or 5 shows. I've been
Yeah, this may
here
be our
another
fourth- this may be our
4 or
fifth.
5 times in as a guest, a patron, and I can tell you every time the quality has been top notch.
Makes me happy. Yeah.
And now we can get into your background. It's interesting to me. You said you've kind of been in the biz for 9 years.
Yeah, we have like 8 going towards 9 next year.
So you started at age 6.
I wish I could have put that
You look
much
very
time
young.
in. I'm actually 30. I just turned
Oh,
30
wow. Okay.
last
Well,
month.
congratulations.
Happy
I'll have a
birthday.
little toast to
Happy
here's to the
birthday.
30s.
Thank
Chef
you.
Dom.
It's a
Thank
great
you.
decade.
I'm enjoying it so far. It's
just
only
got
been a
out of
month, but yeah.
I'm in my 40s now, but
But
it's a
yeah,
great time.
So tell us your background. Where were you born? Where were you
I
raised?
was born in Miami, Jackson Hospital downtown. So yeah, 1994,
Mhm.
90s baby here, and
Oh God, you made me feel old, Dom. I was a sports writer. I had already finished covering the Dolphins as a beat writer for the Sun
it's
Sentinel.
life is beautiful.
It is.
To be able to get up every day
Yep.
and still going. It's a
That's
a
how I
blessing.
feel. Yes.
It is a blessing. Okay.
Especially the way I eat.
Look, I just saw it. I just
Yeah.
witnessed
And he's
it.
still here. Look
I
at him.
see.
All right, so born in '94, raised here. What got you interested in cooking? Was your family any
Yeah,
background
it's
in
definitely my
professional-
family. My great grandma grandmother, she was a cook at the Centrust building in downtown Miami. She worked there for, I don't know, like maybe like 20 years. She also did a little bit of cooking at Baptist Hospital down in the Kendall location. And she would bring home food every day. I didn't get the pleasure of enjoying it until I was a little bit older when she had already retired.
Now, you said you had a plain palate growing up. Were you like a chicken tender kid or what?
Yeah, my mom wasn't really a cook like that. I would enjoy the meals whenever my great grandmother would cook, and she was she's from Georgia, so it was a lot of southern cooking. Definitely some fried chicken, collard greens, pig feet for the adventurous, a lot of stews and things. She was a baker as well,
Brunswick
like the family
stew,
baker.
big in Georgia.
So every time Christmas, Thanksgiving, any family get together, my great grandmother was the one to go to cook pies, cakes, everything. So I got the pleasure of enjoying that.
Do you make pecan pie?
I can make pecan pie.
Okay.
I can make sweet potato pie, coconut pies, coconut cakes, anything you could imagine. Like I was there just sitting at the counter, like,
so you did?
Yes.
Okay, so you did have an interest in it.
Learning at the hand of
it was
the elders.
always
That's
interesting
great.
to me.
I love that. And then what got you involved? What was your professional path? Did you go to culinary school? Or
I did go to culinary school. I would always, cook as a child. I would help out my grandmother, help out my mom, whoever was in the kitchen. I was always right there, willing to learn and take everything in. And by the time I got to high school, I took a couple culinary classes. And by then I knew that once I graduated, I was going to culinary school. Like this was the next step for me. And I got there I took a couple years off to just live, work, and do my thing. And I got to culinary school around 2013, 2014. I went to Miami-Dade, their culinary program.
Oh, great.
I had a lot of great professors, chefs there. And around 2017 is when I got my first job in the industry, and it was just up from there.
Where did you mention where some of the places?
I worked at Lure Fish Bar on the beach,
Miami Beach,
16th and Collins. So that was a really good introduction. Fine dining, very, I guess it was established. I think they were already like 4 years old by the time I got there. So I learned from a lot of the chefs there, a lot of the cooks on the line.
Was that the Miles Group, or I don't know who owns that place? No,
it was Chef Josh Capon.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still at the helm of it, but I learned a lot there.
That's a good spot.
Had a lot of events for the Food and Wine Festival on the beach.
Yep.
And then from there, I made my way over to Swan in the Design District.
Right.
I spent like a good 8 or 9 months there. It was very high volume, so I learned how to push, but while pushing, put out incredible looking food and incredible tasting food. And then a couple years later, after the pandemic, I made my way to Red Rooster in Overtown. So I got the chance to work with Chef Marcus Samuelson and the incredible team, Chef Tristan, Chef Anthony.
I know Chef
I learned
Tristan.
a lot from them, and I think
great oxtail there.
Yes, that was. I worked on the grill.
They call it Yardbird instead of fried chicken.
That was one of my favorite dishes to make. Yeah. So I learned a lot from a lot of incredible chefs, and that led
Sunday
me.
brunch in a historical building.
Yes,
I love the vibe there too. The
Clyde's
upstairs
pool hall. Yes.
Yeah,
I've been up there a couple of times. It's a really good vibe, and we changed the menu almost I want to say every month. We were doing a lot of
Tristan
different things.
Tristan is a very talented guy. Yeah, I know him.
Incredible. The way his mind thinks about food and the ingredients. He's been all over the world, and you can taste it in everything that he makes. So I learned a lot from
good
Chef.
Stuff. So how did you end up here?
Did
you know Raheem?
Yeah, I actually got in contact with Raheem through Chef Tristan. I had my daughter last year, so thank you. I took a few months off to take care of her, look after her, and when I was ready to jump back into the industry, Tristan pointed me in Raheem's direction, and then I'm at J&C Oyster.
That's good.
Opening up with a team.
Going well. You gotta love.
Yes.
I'm sure it stimulates the chef culinary part of you being in a place like this.
It does, especially when it's chef driven and not too many boundaries holding you back. You can experiment with flavors, experiment with techniques. It really helps you grow, and it makes you a better chef every day.
How do you and Cesar, a restaurateur, and Elisa are great, but it feels like they do leave the kitchen to you all.
Yeah, they kind of let us do our thing back there. whenever we, present new ideas, we definitely discuss it with them first. We haven't changed the menu just yet, but we are working on a few things. So
Okay.
hopefully they'll, be out
For
very, very
winter time,
soon.
because
Yes.
you guys open in the spring.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. We
Spring
want
into
to
summer.
switch some things up. But yeah, they definitely let us do our thing back there. If we want to present new ideas, we'll give it to them, or we'll, call up Raheem, call up Monica, and we just try to keep that same very high standard, but also doing things differently, giving people something that they've never had before.
One more thing before we let you go, and thank you for
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
the
No
time
You
and
got
the
a lot going on.
explanation.
Yeah,
I know
that's good.
this is kind of your Monday, the start of the work week. You
Yes,
go Wednesday
yes.
through Sunday here. Must be nice having the 2 days off.
It is. It is. You don't have to worry about picking and choosing when you're going to come
Right.
to work.
And
They're
you
already
get to
set.
spend time. Is it a little girl? I'm sorry.
Yes, and my little daughter, her name's Solana. She's 1 year old. She's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Let me ask you, because how do you balance being a mother with being a chef that, let's face it, the hours are not conducive to motherhood.
I've been lucky enough, like with this job, with those 2 days off, and then with our hours being dinner only at the moment, it gives me a lot more freedom, and I also just have a good village.
Support
You
network.
know, yeah,
That's
my
great.
my mom is a great help. Her father, of course, he's there.
Oh,
nice.
He'll
Oh,
watch
that's amazing.
her. He's
Okay.
also in the industry, so we're both a little
You
bit
guys
busy.
get it.
Okay.
But we make
figured
time
it
for
out.
the
You
You know
make it
how to
work.
make it work.
Yes,
Because
yes.
that's one of the sad parts of this industry. It is so hard on families.
It is.
And
It is. It's tough.
that's why we do a lot of work with mom and pops, and like when we go up to Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, Roberto and Chris, they have 2 young kids.
They like being in the
But
restaurant.
the kids hang out with them,
Yeah.
all summer long. They're in there learning, chopping, and
mhm.
and then they do have family help during the school days.
Yes,
Once
yes.
they have to get them out of school and all that. But it's a constant juggling act.
Yeah, it is. It kind of it's similar to working in the kitchen with when you have to train cooks and rely on other people. It helps to have people who see things the way you do and are
Yeah.
able to help you out.
All right, one more question, then we're going to let you go. I
Hey,
swear.
no problem. No problem.
If your daughter says that she's interested in a career in the kitchen and being a chef, you would say yes or no?
I would say yes. I mean, there are so many different avenues now in the culinary world. You don't necessarily have to be in the kitchen to, find success and, be able to, feed your passion for food or whatever the case may be. I think hospitality is a very wide road, and
Yeah.
she could do, whatever she wants to
Yeah, you can
accomplish.
start one area.
Yeah.
You can start back in the house and then go up front of the house.
Exactly.
And
It's definitely, yes, yes.
It is a wide open road, and it is constantly evolving and improving here in Hollywood, Greater Fort Lauderdale area, South Florida.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited for what's to come up here.
I was going to say, how do you like this area? As you were in Miami,
Yeah, I mean,
how do you like it?
I live like
More north.
further down south in Miami, so it's a little bit quieter, a little slower. So it's similar to this area. So
Okay.
I'm very comfortable up here,
You can
and
deal with the commute.
yes, yeah, I
Okay.
can't wait to see what happens in the next
Yeah, this
couple of
block
years up
is
here.
poised for good things,
Oh,
and
yes.
you guys are at the forefront of it.
Yeah.
Again, Chef Dom is kicking butt, taking
Yes,
names,
yes.
and thankfully not throwing me out of here after I take my big bites. J&C Oysters, where you could find her and all these beautiful dishes. 2035 Harrison Street in Hollywood, my beloved Hollyweird. I use that term affectionately.
Yes, big
Um,
fans.
And we're going to let it go back to work, and we're going to take our first break. Mike
All
Lubie
right.
Lubitz, thank you so much. We will
Thank
see
you
Thanks,
you
Chef Dom.
again.
Appreciate it.
You're a delight.
You're fantastic. And you put up with us. So
Yay! I had a good time. I had a good time.
Good. It's all
Yes,
good.
sir, yes,
All right.
sir.
Let's take a break. We'll see you back here in a moment. One of the best restaurants in Broward, J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. At 2035 Harrison Street, this place is fantastic and worth a drive. It's got creative, cutting-edge seafood and more with an Asian twist and gorgeous cocktails. Chefs Raheem Seeley and Monica Dominguez cut their teeth at some of Miami's best restaurants. Don't miss some of these fantastic dishes, including grilled oysters, fried chicken, and the Thai red curry crab. Open Wednesday through Sunday for dinner with daily happy hour and outdoor seating. Go to jncoyster.com for reservations and information. Tell him Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Prezzo Italian Restaurants, 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail, and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, J&C Oyster Happy Hour Edition, and we're going to re-air it next week. But I got to put out a reminder, everybody. The Dine Out Lauderdale promotion is going on until the end of the month, until September 30th. So now is the time to check out hundreds of great restaurants around town, including J&C Oyster. They're participating. You can sample practically their entire menu.
Yes.
Is on their Dine Out Lauderdale menu. Again, go online to dineoutlauderdale.com to check out the full array of restaurants, multi-course dinners, lunches, brunches, all over town, dineoutlauderdale.com. And while you're at it, check out vlfoodwine.com also, because our friends at the Visit Lauderdale Food Wine Festival are proud, partners with Dine Out. And also their festival is coming up in January. So it's going to be a great time. vlfoodwine.com, dineoutlauderdale.com. Check it all out. So much great food like we got in front of us.
Yes.
Lubie, you had a little bit of a Mike Mayo moment during the break. I look up at you, and it looked like a baby diaper exploded all over your face.
I had a napkin here, and I don't know where the hell the napkin
Well,
went
there's
to.
like little cocktail napkins now, but you went in for the
Well, because the
But
mayo, the uzu,
the mayo's
like,
at the bottom.
pops out.
But what you got to do is you got to turn it.
Oh, okay.
And then, but what happened to you is it just kind of
It went
exploded everywhere. But that's okay.
No video.
There's no chefs around. You don't have to be
Exactly.
embarrassed. I'll take all the embarrassment.
I don't get embarrassed. I do a show with you every day. How can I be embarrassed?
Exactly. There is no more shame, as can be seen now
You
on
shove
some
it-
of these social media things. That, like, it's hard to believe that not only was I at one point a respected news columnist, shared in like major prizes after.
What do you mean? You were actually
tragic
respected
events.
enough to the point where coaches would actually not like you.
Oh,
Remember, coaches, when they don't respect you at all, just ignore you. For a
Right.
coach to actually have a dislike, it's because they read what you said and
And
they agreed with it,
there's a-
or
there's
it
a-
meant something.
There's a little sting of truth in it when they react.
They don't
like
hate.
that.
Like Nick Saban would only bark at people that he actually
Somewhat
what they said
respect
got
it.
to them. You
Okay.
know, like so
Yeah.
the fact that like Shula had a thing with you, it actually says a lot to who you are.
A lot of people had things with me. I gotten thrown
The
out of
Panthers too, the
offices, executive suites. Don Smiley when he was president of the Marlins. Sifu with the Panthers. By the way, that banner is going to be going up in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Training
thank God for the
camp
Panthers.
starts. It's I can't believe the training camp
We're here.
starts on. I believe it's the 20th. That would be tomorrow.
I know they just did a
or
whole thing
last
yesterday.
week, depending on which
There
version
he
of the
is.
show.
See
Cesar,
who it is.
you want to sit down for a minute? All right, we're gonna give him a minute. I'll tell you what.
We have like 15
We're
minutes.
gonna take another break, and then can
Then
you come
we'll-
on in 5 minutes?
You're the
Okay.
man.
Cesar Cifuentes, the proprietor here of J&C Oyster, along with Osaka next door. But yeah, I was hated by many. It's funny
Well,
because
you've never held your tongue.
now in the hospitality business, it's the opposite. Back then, it was like people would throw me out of offices, slam doors in my face, curse me out, and I don't know if that was respect or hatred. Now, in the hospitality
in,
business, they're ushering me in. Of course, Mike, anything you want, and is that respect or fear? Or
I think it's definitely both. And I think a lot of the time when the text comes in and suddenly they're just handing you food and everything's comped, that's fear.
No, I don't. And I do like to pay my own way when I
You
go out.
100%
When
do.
besides, the shows, when we do the shows, obviously there's promotional considerations. But when I go out on my own, okay, I'll send out the bat signal that I'm coming, but I don't expect anything.
That's actually true. I just like
Like
Defoe giving you a
love
tough time.
busting my
it's a lot of
and that's okay. You know what? Cesar said he's going to come by in a little bit. Let's take one more break now. Before we do, I want to just put out the good word about our friends at Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap. It's another place that's on the list and very good, and now they've got a location in Delray besides the one 525 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. Great place for the weekend brunch, especially the bottomless drink options, classic scratch-made Southern food, free parking in the garage next door in Fort Lauderdale. Delray Beach, it's at the marketplace that has wide open parking, so that's very easy.
And they do a great happy hour, just like here at J&C. If you're in the north,
Whiskey
do a fantastic
Wednesday
happy hour.
right now for they've got their Wednesday night whiskey events going on, so you can check them out, and they have all kinds of great charities that they help out as well. We love Kevin and Brandon. Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, now with multiple locations for your dining pleasure. All right, let's take another break, and then we'll get Cesar in here. We'll find out the latest in his world on the Lunchbox after these words. Freshest Fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. A little further inland, Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C. 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. It's serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. If you're looking for an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox at J&C Oyster Happy Hour Edition on a Wednesday, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome back to the Lunchbox proprietor here of J&C, Cesar Cifuentes. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm very good. Rainy day.
Yeah, it just started raining. When I pulled up, it was sunny.
We had a few cancellations, obviously, due to the weather. So.
Really?
People really do that?
People don't melt.
It's so weird to me, like that people struggle to drive in the rain.
They call themselves Floridians. I mean, you take an umbrella, you don't melt in the water.
Maybe they're filling it out and like, let's cancel 6 and try again at 6:30, 7.
We'll see. All right. Well, hopefully it'll stop raining soon. It seems like one of those thunderstorms, and we used to get every afternoon. But
Yep.
all right, what's happening in your world? You said you've been busy, right?
Yeah. So the other business, the software company that helps fuel the fire here,
Yeah.
um,
Is popping.
it's a lot of interesting things coming.
Oh, nice.
New opportunities.
Are the robots going to kill us all yet, or is that a
No,
couple
no,
years
The
no.
away?
AI.
I
So
mean,
you're someone that likes AI, like my wife.
we actually are working on a lot of the projects that we do for that concept or that business, I should say, are for the food and beverage industry.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So speaking of AI, we are in the early conversations of having AI make suggestive
Menu
selling
ordering. Oh.
at the drive-through.
Oh, okay.
Really?
For
Yeah.
when you do the
Yeah.
Osaka or
Well, I
is
mean,
it gonna-
no, it's not even for our
No, you
concept.
said
just
drive.
for-
You said
in
a drive.
general.
For the world, right? I mean, we would develop products for large. I mean, the ambition is to develop an enterprise solution that the likes of McDonald's could actually license the
So
technology.
I would pull up. They take a look at me and they say, "Big Mac value meal, Diet Coke."
Recognition is something that
Looks like you like your Big Macs, but you might have diabetes. Diet Coke.
So listen, there's different ways to identify consumers now.
Caesar's playing it very political.
No. We can scan your license plate.
Oh God!
You can opt in and
You could look into my soul and see that I will have a big bite of your
God.
soft shell crab sandwich. That, by the way, Chef Dom is a delight.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Every dish here, we were admiring the consistency here. That it doesn't matter,
No matter who the chef is,
if
you can't tell the
whoever's
difference.
around, who's not. I mean,
They do a
everything
great job.
comes out beautiful and consistent every time. So that's you got to be proud of that.
That's the hardest part in this business. I always said. I mean, I have this conversation almost on a weekly basis as I meet new people, and we're again, it's you guys know me as a software company that got into this industry, but
Do you have any regrets?
I said, well, once every 6 months, I'm like, well, what am I doing?
What did I
No,
do?
really.
But
That's
you're
not that
putting
bad.
But you've improved the food scene, the culinary scene, not just in Hollywood, but like all of Broward. When you bring together talent like this, and
Yeah.
that's to be
So
applauded.
you got Chef Dom's background, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the Red Rooster, and I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
she
all
has
throughout Miami. Yeah.
she has an exceptional resume as well. So that's the thing. The what we're trying to bring is that next caliber. I
next
think
level stuff. And we got to get people. I just want people to try it once, because once you try it,
Oh, yeah,
you're
this
going to
place is
be
fantastic.
No,
because
man, it's
if you enjoy really high quality creative cuisine,
I had dinner here, which I don't do often, like a full sit down dinner,
Right.
and people are
Serving you.
providing me a service and treating me like a customer. I think it was Sunday evening. A
Mhm.
friend popped in from an industry guy too, which means a lot.
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
his
yeah.
feedback.
That's huge.
He reps a lot of brands, so he's in town for the U.S. food show that happened today.
right,
Yep.
right. Our
At,
people we know are down there
at the
in Miami.
convention center.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was just like astonished. He's like, this is like, I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, we have a crazy team. But that is the hardest part, I think.
HQS is what you do here. You know what that stands for? High quality stuff.
High quality stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, I would use
and-
bigger language than that, but yes, you guys do a tremendous job in the creativity, and what's interesting is, and you make it sure we all know you're a software guy. I think you're underselling yourself, because every time we have you on, your knowledge of this industry, of the food, of the cocktails, you're very well versed
Well,
in this arena.
I think that's one of the reasons why I mean, I've been doing it for almost a decade now, but
yeah.
I think having an outsider's approach to food and beverage is exactly what I brought.
yeah, but
My only culinary experience of any sort was in high school. I was a busboy
Okay.
my junior year for 3 months, and that was it. I mean, a busboy. Like,
but you are like much better at talent acquisition and spotting talent.
Mhm.
You know, whether it's Raheem and then Raheem brings in his people, but like much better. The Dolphins could use you as a general manager.
they
right
need a
now.
quarterback now, right?
They need a quarterback. They need a Johnny Greer. I call him Johnny instead of Chris because I don't know who Johnny Greer was. Chris Greer is the GM of the Dolphins, and they're in a shambles now. But you guys here, you know,
That's the
you've
one thing.
assembled a
Next
team.
person
So,
up
what-
is the mindset here.
Here's some advice to maybe some young entrepreneurs, right?
Yep.
I think my biggest gift, as an entrepreneur, it's just that is finding the right person for the right job. I
Right.
mean, that's it. I mean,
Fits. You got to get
that's
people
it.
and play to their strengths.
Yeah.
And
How difficult
teamwork.
is that? Especially
well,
in this
I'll tell you
industry.
right now. So we are in need of a couple bartenders now.
Okay.
I think that the most success we've seen is hiring a friend of a friend or ex-colleague. It's just there's already the synergy.
It's like
that,
everything. Yeah. Oh,
You know,
it's like
it
word
just,
of mouth, people who know
like,
and respect each
you're gonna
other.
marry
Yeah.
someone that your uncle introduced you to versus
Yeah, it helps.
some website, right?
Match.com. I don't know.
Yeah, it helps.
So,
So that we try, but indeed, I mean, it's been. I think overall good. I
Yeah,
mean, you know, we can
you're
expect
gonna
it,
find
but
talent.
yeah.
It's gonna come here because things are going. You know, it's just such a high level of stuff. A lot of good things coming
Super
in the
stoked.
coming months to J&C Oyster. Cesar, a pleasure as always. Always good to see you. Always good to be in here to taste all the fantastic food. Much continued success.
Yep.
And again, it's going to be season soon. We're going to get
Yeah, it's gonna
everybody
get jammed.
in here, and they will be hooked because how can you refuse great quality food?
No, we're very happy
like
with
this,
everything so far. So
all
we're
good.
ready. So always a pleasure, guys. Thank you so
We
much for
appreciate
the
you having us.
support.
Thank you.
Always good.
And,
All right, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, enjoy every pork belly and crabs. You know, the
Soft shell crab
crabs
sandwich.
Yes, enjoy every
Confit
soft
tuna.
shell and the
Pork
confit
belly.
tuna. Winner.
Bananarama.
Enjoy every sandwich.